In this lesson, we're going to talk about how we can graph inequalities. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to graph inequalities. First of all, this one is not an inequality that x is equal to, but I want us to see what it looks like when you have it on a graph or on a number line. We have x is equal to 5, and so on our number line, we could have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if x is equal to 5, it is going to be circled in, and you just make a dot that it is equal to 5. So now if I want to represent x is less than or equal to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let's go ahead and represent. So greater than is less than or equal to, it is going to be a closed dot because it does represent 5. It includes 5, but it also includes everything that is less than 5. And so that's how we're going to represent that on a graph. For x is greater than or equal to 5, we're going to then, again, it's going to be greater than or equal to. So since it's equal to, it's going to include it. We're going to shade in the dot, and it is going to go to the right, representing that it is going to be 5 or any number that is greater than 5. For x is less than 5, all right, well, because 5 is not less than 5, you cannot include 5, but we need to be able to show where it starts, because it's any number that is going to be less than 5, and that's why we have the open dot, and it's going to go to the left. So we're going to have an open dot representing the fact that it does not include the 5, because if it did include the 5, we would close the dot. And the same thing goes for x is greater than 5. All right, so again, we're going to have the open dot because we're not including 5, but we're including everything that is bigger than 5 or greater than 5. So it's going to go to the right. All right, so how do I write inequalities from a graph? So write the inequality that is represented by the graph. So we have a shaded in dot, meaning that it's going to equal the number that it's on. So it's going to be x, because that's what we're referring to. It's going to be x is going to be greater than, or it's going to be equal to 4, because it's going to the right. Anything going to the right is going to be greater. Anything going to the left is going to be less than. All right, number 2. So we have x, and because it's going to the left, it's going to be less than. And because it's an open dot, it's just going to be less than -3. All right, so for our next one, we have x, and it's going to the right, so it's going to be x is greater than, and because it doesn't have a closed-in dot, it's just going to be greater than, and it's going to be -2. So x is greater than -2. For number 4, we have x, and it's less than because it's going to the left, and then it's going to be equal to, because it's shaded in, 4. In this lesson, we took a look at how you could write inequalities from a graph.